Chapter 21. Courage. On Wednesday, I called Malcolm. Gary and I had talked and we were both worried about him. Malcolm was usually so confident and knowledgeable. The fear I had seen in his eyes was shocking. I called at 10 in the morning. Malcolm answered the phone, but he still had sleep in his voice. I knew his routine was to wake up at 5 in the morning, and I couldn't picture him sleeping until 10. Malcolm, it's Tony. I just wanted to check on you. Are you doing all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I was wondering if I could come run with you today. I know Wednesday is your usual day to run. There was a long pause. I don't know if I'm going to run today. I don't have the energy. Malcolm, you're always telling me how important exercise is, about how it makes you feel better. I'll come run with you. Okay, Tony, meet me at my house at 5. I arrived at 4:45. I brought a book with me because Malcolm had taught me that if you have a book to read, you never have to wait. I was thumbing through the pages when he came out at 5:05. Malcolm walked to my truck and I got out. I had never seen him unkempt before. It looked like he had slept in his shirt. It was so wrinkled. His hair, normally carefully groomed, had the impression from a pillow on the left side. It was the worst case of bedhead I had ever seen. Tony, I don't know if I can do this. I'm really tired. I need for you to run with me. If you want, we'll make it a short one. Let's go, I said. Malcolm nodded. I noticed that he didn't even look me in the eyes. We started running down the street. His pace was slow, even slower than the Saturday run at the lake. I had to slow down to avoid leaving him behind. A few minutes into the run, Malcolm said, "Thanks for running with me today. I know I need to exercise, but it's been hard for me to even get out of bed. I've been so depressed lately. It's unbelievable how everything in my life has just fallen apart." I was talking to my wife, Leslie. I told her we might lose everything. The one thing I don't want to lose is my family. Situations like this can tear a family apart and wind up in divorce court. We've recommitted ourselves to each other. We're going to stick together no matter what. About 5 minutes into the run, he actually laughed. It seemed like the exercise was already working its magic. We plodded along through Malcolm's neighborhood. I wasn't sure what to say. I knew he was in real trouble. Seeing him like this in such despair, so broken, shattered my heart. Malcolm had given me a new life, hope, and a future. I wanted to do something for him, but I felt powerless. How could I ever repay him for what he had done for me? What did I have to offer him, the owner of a multi-million-dollar business? I was just a few months out of jail. We continued through the neighborhood. I didn't know how far he would want to go. I was just glad Malcolm was doing something. I let him set the pace and the route. We made it back to his house 30 minutes later. We had run almost 3 miles. We stopped running when we reached my truck. Malcolm told me to wait, and he went inside his house. He came back with 2 bottles of water and handed one to me. A light went on in my head. I realized that I could make a difference in his life. He had done so much for me, and I was excited I would have the chance to give something back. I decided I would run with Malcolm on the 4 days he normally ran, and I would show up early in case he didn't feel like running. That would give me time to encourage him to go. Malcolm, you have given me so much and taught me so many new things. Just being with you has changed the way I think and look at my life. One of the things that you have taught me is to help other people out when they are in need. Right now, you need help. I want to help you. I will come see you every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Saturday, we have our run at the lake. We will run together. I know that you're having a rough time with your business and that life seems to be crowding in on you. I'm going to make sure that you keep exercising. Malcolm thought for a moment and said, "Thank you, Tony." For 6 weeks, I kept my commitment. We ran every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Some days he wanted to run, some days he didn't. Today it was a struggle just to get him out of the door. I showed up 15 minutes early for the 5 p.m. run. I brought a book and read. I waited until 5:15. I put down the book and went and knocked on his door. I waited several minutes and knocked again. Malcolm finally opened the front door. He looked as bad as I had ever seen him. He hadn't shaved, his hair was completely messed up, and his clothes looked like he had been wearing them for days. I tried not to notice. "Come on, Malcolm, let's go." I wanted to cry. I was shocked at how messy my mentor was. Malcolm shook his head. "I'm not going today. Don't feel like it. Maybe next time." He stepped back and started to close the door. I fought the urge to grab the doorknob and stop him. "Malcolm, I really want you to come with me today. I can tell you feel bad. The run will make you feel better." He paused and looked at me. "Give me a minute. I need to go change." As Malcolm left, I let out a sigh of relief. I wasn't sure what I would have done if he had said no to the run, but I did know that he needed to exercise. I would have done whatever it took to get him to go running. Malcolm appeared in a moment, dressed in his running gear. Just the change from his rumpled clothes made him look better. "Let's go," I said, gratified that he was coming. "I don't know how far I can go. Just keep going, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other." Malcolm was silent. It really bothered me. He was normally cheerful and jovial, but getting him to say anything was like pulling teeth. We jogged slowly for a few blocks without any conversation at all. I finally asked, "How are you doing?" He took a moment before he answered. "Things have gotten worse. I had to lay off a bunch of people, over half of my company. Plus, the bank has been calling me in 2 or 3 times a week. They're treating me like a little boy. I feel like I'm being called into the principal's office." I couldn't imagine that things had gotten any worse for him. We were going slowly, but at least we were going. I learned that getting Malcolm to talk was the hard part. Once he started talking, he would keep going. He continued. "There are rumors everywhere. I don't know how all this has got out, but I'm getting calls from friends and customers wondering what's happening with my business." Malcolm paused. I knew he wasn't finished telling me what was going on. "I got so depressed last week that I went to see a doctor. He diagnosed me with situational depression. He recommended that I get an antidepressant, but I'm not going to take it. The problem is that I need to make changes in my life. Things feel like they are getting worse, but I have to keep taking action. I had to make some tough decisions. 3 of my top salespeople quit. They produced about half of the profit for the company. That's what caused the layoff. People have told me to bankrupt the company and close the business. I'm not going to do that. I'm not running from my responsibilities. I feel like I'm being tested. I don't understand why. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get out of this. I'm going to do what you did, Tony. I'm going to find a mentor, someone who can help teach me how to move past this." I could feel Malcolm pick up the pace. "I'm going to read and learn as much as I can, and I'm going to start going back to church. It's been a long time, but I know that will make a difference."